Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Matic, kind of see what's going on here, of course, with the recent increase. And traditionally we look at Bitcoin, but I can tell you it's kind of progressing upwards from 41 to 43,000. And that's kind of a green day we haven't seen in a little while, making higher highs and higher lows on the short term. So ultimately there's a lot of, or I would say a little less fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and a little more confidence in the market. Furthermore, too, we also have this Bitcoin entity adjusted dormancy flow that's getting kind of passed around, just letting us know that we're in a significant buy zone for Bitcoin. So that could also be the catalyst pushing the price action up higher. I'll cover that a little bit more in detail within my Bitcoin analysis later, but just know that's kind of leading to a lot of nice recovery here today for majority of coins. So enjoy it while we got it. We do have some news on the horizon tomorrow, CPI data, so just bear in mind that could very well change things. So just be prepared. We might see a slight correction tomorrow if Bitcoin loses its bottom. All right, now before we jump in, I'm not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. I've been trading for a very long time, over 15 years, and my goal is to help you become a better trader. That's why I created this channel. I created a trading community as well as a trading academy that I'm rolling out with month end. So a lot of really good stuff. Make sure to check that out. I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we all remain very profitable regardless of the climate. So awesome stuff. Be sure to check that out. Now with Matic, of course, let's go ahead and jump right into the one-day chart. Pretty straightforward here. We're up over the 50-day simple moving average. You can see how it worked as a resistance level for the last 3 days. We also effectively bounced off this tentative support right around 193, right in that range. That was basically the lowest the price would want to go, in the face of all this selling off. We can also see as well that on TD sequential, we got down upwards, as low as an 8, and we're now back on the increase. Now, this is, again, tentative. I want you to keep that in mind because if something happens tomorrow, we could see another correction, but for the most part, pending no nonsense from Bitcoin, we get some at least sideways action moving forward, or potentially just see a continuation to 45, 47, etc. And then we're going to be in a good shape, much better shape, of course. And Matic, I think, will break its all-time high here soon. We're up over 50 on the RSI as well on the one day, implying that we're back in bullish territory, and we have a potential MACD convergence as well. So long story short here, the macro looks very good for Matic. I love the macro, looking very awesome. See what the midterm tells us. We're facing a little bit of potential resistance here from the 200-day simple moving average, but we're up over the 50. So mostly good stuff here in that sense. We're up over some key level resistances as well as 220. RSI is over 50, under 70, extremely good as well. Love to see that. That basically means we have a little bit more room for growth. Just keep in mind, we're going to have some resistance right around 245 for Matic, because obviously that's a resistance channel. I've drawn that out before, but those were these blue lines here essentially are the previous all-time highs, and basically the one-day all-time high, one-day candlestick close, and of course the all-time high itself. So just bear in mind, this will be a resistance channel when the price travels back into that range, and just try to keep in mind that we might see some turbulence. The price might go sideways. It might test the resistance level a few times before it breaks. We may even see a couple of handle pattern breakout, of course, as well. That's a strong likelihood considering its shape. So ultimately some things just to pay attention to, but all good stuff here. And if we take a look at TD sequential, we're only about 5 4-hour candlesticks in, basically 20 hours into a 36-hour push. So we literally have a good half a day's worth of momentum, so to speak, perhaps even a little bit longer, depending on, to maybe push us up into that upper echelon here above 245. If so, we'd be in really, really good shape to have that continuation, to likely consolidate above a major support or previous resistance, right? If we can get the price to close over, just say 250 in that range, we'll be in really, really good shape, especially if we can get that on the one-day chart. I think that's less likely today, personally. Again, depends and really reliant on Bitcoin's behavior. If Bitcoin continues to push, just say we break 43 and close 40, somewhere in a range of 43 to 44 on the one day, then we're going to have some more confidence in the market, and Matic is going to take off and continue to push. So again, just be mindful. The midterm looks very good for Matic as well. So I hope that you had taken my advice previously and dollar cost average when you could. Obviously, in the last 24 to 48 hours have been a little rocky with Bitcoin. So in that sense, I'm glad that you probably and hopefully had set some money aside too, because you don't want to dollar cost average everything you have into this dip when it could possibly not be the last dip. I do think Bitcoin's finding its bottom. We're almost there, but we just have this little fear of what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So I just want to throw that out there, be realistic with you that we could see one last little, decrease, but pending we see some nice, like the actual inflation doesn't screw everything over, so to speak. I think everyone's expecting it anyways. Should it be a big deal? Probably not. then maybe we won't see anything happen tomorrow. But it's better to be safe than sorry, and just know that going into a trade, or all trades, obviously. Keep some money aside just in case. You never truly know. Just because things are taking off today doesn't mean they will not dip in the near future. Okay, we got to be mindful of that. Cautiously optimistic. All right, so looking at Ichimoku Cloud, we're probably going to see all buy signals here, of course. We're seeing this trend across the board for the most part today, with a lot of coins taking off. Lagging span is way free and clear of any price action. Conversion lines above the baseline, and obviously we're above the cloud. So there's really no reason to want to close your position at this point in time. Obviously, we get some, Bitcoin, a significant sell-off. You can maybe expect a correction, but for the most part, we shouldn't expect much, because if we see this nice little consolidation period here, that gave us a nice reset on TD sequential, and now we're back up to a 7. So the likelihood of the price continuing past 233 is fairly high. I think we might consolidate at that level, perhaps as a potential support, and if we can get a little bit further, push, of course, today, Bitcoin keeps kind of cranking, we can be upwards of 250 and consolidate above that support, which would be ultimate. But leading into that, it wouldn't be terrible to see some sideways action around 235. I would like to see that. But all in all, really good stuff here from Matic. I literally see nothing that is adverse or negative, minus the fact that we have a potential catalyst from Bitcoin that could essentially reverse this progress. And also note too, traveling into this resistance level, it's a little bit on the it could potentially become overextended by the time it gets there. Those little things you need to keep in mind and understand that the likelihood of just continuing straight up is pretty low. We need to see some more sideways action. It'd be nice to see that right around 230, so it can confidently break past that 247 resistance. So all in all, good stuff here from Matic. I love it. Always been bullish on Matic. It is definitely one of my top 10 coins. And I can essentially tell you that once we break this all-time high, it's going to be some really cool stuff. It's going to be Solana times 2, if you know what I'm saying, as far as the continuation that we're going to see. I do think Matic, 5, 7, possibly even $10 later this year. In fact, why don't we go with a short term here as well? Just say hypothetically, it takes another month to perform the same travel that it did before, right? If we break 292, essentially the current resistance level, all-time high, we should see in the next month somewhere in the range of $4 plus. I think that's very likely. I do think that's a bit on the conservative side though, because Matic has a tendency of doing very well, having good, healthy continuation patterns, as long as the market doesn't have a significant amount of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That is starting to dissipate, right? And in that sense, we could very well see that continuation to $4. So I would say that roughly within the next month or two, $4 is very realistic for Matic, but you also got to understand we got a key level resistance channel here, as well as, of course, the all-time high we need to break in order for that to happen. I'll keep covering Matic, of course, more consistently so you understand specifically what that looks like. But I do want to thank you so much for joining me here. And I think that, of course, Matic is in very, very good shape. This would be a comfortable investment in my personal opinion. I hope you have a great rest of your day. You're not currently a community member, please consider joining. Really cool opportunity to be able to get to know everyone, and the family is growing. It's a really awesome dynamic. So if you enjoy what you see here, it's just a full-fledged deeper dive into that, and rolling out with the Trading Academy month end as well. And we're transitioning over to a website away from Patreon. It's going to be awesome. Looking very much forward to that. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one as well. Take care. Thank you.